Do you want to know how to escape the ringing in your ears? You have to run towards it. I know what it's like to feel like you have no control over your tinnitus. When you face tinnitus head on, that's when you start to see real improvement. This is pure tinnitus. Hey guys, my name is Dr. Ben Thompson, audiologist and tinnitus specialist in California. There's an old teaching story from Africa that was taught to me by one of my teachers, Michael Mead. This is a story that the elders taught to the younger generation in their village. There's a community of lions in this area, and the older, weaker lions, they have the loudest roar. They can make the most noise. The younger lions, they don't have the loudest roar, but they're the strongest and fastest, so they can find the prey most easily. How this story goes is that the older lions were placed in the high grass on one side of the plain, and the younger lions were placed on the other side of the plain. When the gazelle came into the plain, the loud lions in the high grass would roar and make as much noise as they could. That would send the gazelle towards the healthier lions that were actually more dangerous for them to be around. Sometimes we want to run away and get rid of our tinnitus, but sometimes the wiser, the safer, the smarter thing to do is to run towards the roar, to face it head on. From this African story, they're teaching that we're sometimes more able to survive when we run straight towards that noise and straight towards the roar. I was taught this story and I thought of ringing in the ears, I thought of tinnitus. The roar, the lion's loud roar, that is your tinnitus. When tinnitus comes up within yourself, don't run from the noise, run towards the noise. You're being invited to learn about the negative emotional reaction that you have towards the ringing in your ear, and you can realize that you're separate from this negative reaction. So I hope you found that story useful to you, and you might take this opportunity to now think of tinnitus in a different way. So whether you've had your tinnitus for a short amount of time, a few days or weeks, or you've had it for between months and years, that's a signal coming from your auditory brain, and that's routed through the emotional brain, an area referred to as the limbic system. These two components of tinnitus are significantly important, and one affects the other. If your tinnitus is loud and you notice it, then your emotional brain can sometimes have a strong negative reaction to it. That sends a signal back to the ringing in the auditory brain and makes it louder. So this is called a feedback loop. If one increases, the other increases, and it can keep going and going. So how do you stop that feedback loop? That's going to really be important for your tinnitus recovery. The relationship between your auditory and emotional brains can put your autonomic nervous system on high alert. That creates a heightened response in your sympathetic nervous system. Now, the important thing to realize here is that there are ways to reduce that response from the nervous system, and that's going to be increasing the response in the parasympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system is something that is activated when we're calm, relaxed, and in our body. I've had my own personal experiences where doing practices that get me into my parasympathetic nervous system can significantly calm me down, relax me, and get me out of my mind, get me out of my emotional brain, which tends to magnify and increase my negative thinking about the future, the past, or sometimes how much pain I have. I also see this in my clients where when they can understand this relationship between their nervous system, their auditory brain, and their emotional reactions, that they're going to take significant steps that make the most sense for you and your lifestyle, and they're going to see gains in how relaxed and calm they are. They're also going to have a better response to the emotional reaction they have from tinnitus. We're not here to say that your emotional reactions are going to go away, that you're never going to be upset or frustrated by your tinnitus, but when we develop this relationship of education and knowledge about what it means, then you can have shorter periods of downward effects of your tinnitus. I see with my clients that for those who are able to put in the time to understand the relationship between the auditory brain, the emotional brain, and the nervous system, that we're going to select specific techniques that work for your lifestyle, that gets you more into that parasympathetic nervous system that calms and relaxes the entire body. Essentially, these practices help you improve your quality of life related to tinnitus, specifically for reducing the amount of stress, anxiety, or depression you have from your tinnitus by being able to understand your parasympathetic nervous system and having that direct control over how your body is reacting to the tinnitus. Typically, as time goes on, you're also able to develop a stronger sense of control where you're able to observe your negative reactions and negative thoughts towards your tinnitus come and go with ease instead of identifying with them and creating this downward spiral of negative thinking. There's different ways to dive into these methods. Simple videos like this can be helpful. Other people prefer one-on-one therapy. I offer online one-on-one therapy sessions. You can find my website in the information below. We also have a free newsletter to keep you updated on all things tinnitus. You can find that in the info below as well. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up below. If you don't, YouTube doesn't recommend our video to anyone else. You can press that red subscribe button to stay up to date with our new video coming out every single week, and tap that notification bell so YouTube lets you know when our new content comes out. Thank you for being here, and remember to take your tinnitus journey one step at a time.